Welcome everybody. I'm here with Tobias Sammet from Edguy and Avantasia. Hi Toby, welcome back in Italy. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
All fine.
And congratulations for the album. 2 CDs, 20 songs, a huge opera. I guess you have worked a lot during the last 2 years.
Well, it's work is the wrong word because if you perceive something as work, it uh, implies that you don't enjoy doing it. I had a lot of fun the last years, and whenever I feel that I have to get up in the morning and write a song, and then I do it and write it and play a little on my little keyboard, and it was more. I enjoyed what I did, and I'm really happy with being in the situation to do all this. So it was not really a lot of work. I'm not actually. People always say I'm a workaholic, and I can't agree. I'm not a workaholic at all. I'm pretty lazy, and in this laziness, I'm very creative. That's what I am. Probably the people who are watching this right now, they work way more and harder. I'm sure.
I appreciated a lot the second part, Angel of Babylon, and in my opinion, it is an album with an awesome rock songs, while the Wicked Symphony is perhaps closer to the first two metal operas. What is your opinion about?
It's really hard for me to judge because I'm so close still to the production. I've been involved with this for such a long time, so I can't really say that one of the two albums is closer to what I've done before. All I can say is my best friend from Germany. He said that he's got the impression that overall the material is closer to the metal opera than the Scarecrow was to the metal opera. I don't think so. I think, at least I can judge. And it was never meant to be like that. I think it was, I just tried to, as always, write good songs and compose good music. And some of the songs had already been composed along with the material on the Scarecrow. So it's really hard for me to read a tendency into, going back to the roots or doing things that are closer to what I've done in the past. It's, anything that happened accidentally, I guess. And maybe you get the feeling. Maybe everybody's got a different perception of things. I don't know. I don't know. In to cut a long story short, I don't know. I don't have a clue. I just think it's great records, albums, CDs.
The performance of Jon Oliva in That Is Just a Feeling is something unbelievable. First, because you wrote a perfect song which fit with Jon's voice. And second, because it could be perfect for an hypothetical musical. How did you engage Jon?
It was the song was never meant to be a real hit song or something, and no song is meant to be a hit song. But it was just I wanted to create an atmosphere that was more important than writing a memorable melody. But once I had that strange, weird atmosphere, first of all, I had just this little nursery rhyme sound thing, that little weird passage, and then I came up to glue it together with a memorable chorus and pre-chorus. And once the song was finished, I just had that epic um, cinematic movie score, musical rock opera piece of music that was not really a hit song, but that was not really a soundtrack. It was something in between a short song and still a soundtrack. And I was thinking like, who could sing that? And first of all, I was thinking of Alice Cooper, because I didn't have Alice Cooper on my mind when I wrote it, but I had that type of Alice Cooper character on my mind when I wrote it. So, but Alice Cooper had sung on the previous album, and story-wise, this was the continuation. This was the the successor of uh, of the song that Alice Cooper had sung. It was not the same role. It was a new incarnation of the, the character Alice Cooper had portrayed on the last album. So I was looking for somebody who had as much tragedy in the voice. I needed somebody who could act just with a voice rather than sing like a nightingale. And I needed somebody with that special ability, and I did not know who who, who to ask until I coincidentally heard the Streets album after a long time again of Sabotage, and I said, "That's Jon. Jon Oliva has to do it." And I got in touch with him. And the funny thing is, he listened to the song and did it, and later on he said, I can really tell you wrote this one for me." And that was, that must have been, no, it just fit like a glove. But the truth is that it was coincidence how great it worked. And he's a magician, he's enchanting with his voice, and it really matched. It really matched, like it fit like a glove.
Have you ever thought about recording and composing a musical?
Well, Sasha and me actually discussed it a couple of times of recording and composing a children's musical, but it never really happened because of maybe we don't have the time, or it's just everybody had to do different things, so we never actually sat together and did it. But maybe one day Sasha and me will do a children's musical, because I think the good thing about it, about working for children, is that they can really discover the true quality. That's something like we grown up people. I mean, I'm not that grown up. I mean, adult, mature people. We don't. I'm not that mature either. But we don't have that. I don't think we don't have the skill to distinguish as great as kids do. You have to be really good to make kids appreciate what you do and not bore them to death. But then I think they discover true quality. They are listening more with their instincts, not with, they don't, they're more free. They don't have expectations. Sometimes, especially in the heavy metal scene, I think what's really annoying is that people have expectations get in the way of their true senses. They don't say this sounds great. They say this is not what I expected. It's not great. And I think that's the wrong way to perceive music. People shall say, that sounds great, and switch off expectations, which is literally impossible in our world nowadays, because everything is like it's like a self-service store. Everybody says, "Oh, I want this and I want that. I want this movie. I want that movie. I don't want that movie." People really got used to just take exactly what they need and what they think they need. And that's how we unlearn to really appreciate quality without prejudice. Because that way, if you really only take what you think you need without paying attention to anything else, it will prevent you from discovering real great things that are, you know, far off left or far off right. If you just go, narrow-minded in one direction, you will lose a lot of things. And I think kids don't have that, and that would be the challenge. But if they really don't like it, they will not write, "Oh, the new album." They will just sit there and be bored and start yawning and go home. And that will hurt then. That will hurt.
You dismissed Amanda and took with you Claudia Young.